We might usually transport ourselves from place to place in vehicles that carry more than one person, like regular cars, trucks, and buses. But there are a ton of options out there when it comes to single-seater modes of transportation. Here are some of the most unique single-person rides. Thanks, J-Day. Crypto creatures are pretty unique on their own, but these cars are sure to match that level. Number 24. Mazda Miata Mono Posto. Although most of our single-seaters in this video are smaller than normal cars, the Miata Mono Posto is a single-person vehicle that is still the size of an average car. The bright red hot rod pictured here gives the driver the best of both worlds. Mazda created it back in 2000 as a tribute to the old single-seater Italian sports cars of the 1950s. It certainly looks strange, but some of these next cars will be even stranger. Number 23. A cigarette motorcycle. You never thought that you would see a giant cigarette that drives around, and neither did we, until we found the single-seater vehicle pictured here. This vehicle is a giant cigarette motorcycle that was created by the Indian car designer K. Car. It was used as a sort of living art piece since it drove around the streets of Hyderabad, a city in southern India, during October of 2008, the same month India banned smoking in most public places. While that is already the norm in a lot of other countries, it was a huge step in the right direction for a country that is still one of the highest cigarette consumers in the world. Number 22. Velomobile. The single-person vehicle pictured here isn't a car and isn't a motorcycle either. It's something in between. This is the Velomobile, the human-powered vehicle that is slightly larger than a motorcycle, but is actually completely enclosed for the driver's protection and comfort. Number 21. The Elliptigo. The mode of transportation you see in this picture looks more like a newfangled outdoor exercise machine, and it really is. The Elliptigo, as this picture shows you, combines the power of an elliptical and a bicycle to form a contraption that gets you from one place to another. This wouldn't be a viable option if you were out of shape, since working out for a longer period of time on an elliptical can be rather grueling. But if you were dedicated, you could use this single-person ride to whip yourself into shape in no time. Number 20. Champiot Ultra. If you didn't want to transport yourself from A to B by using the power of your legs, but you still wanted to go the human-powered option, you could always choose to use the strength of your arms instead by traveling in this Champiot Ultra, which you can see pictured here. This quadricycle uses your arm power to actually power the vehicle for motion, just like a rower uses their arm strength to pull them through the water. Number 19. Bamboo. The odd vehicle in this picture looks like it was made as a joke, but it is actually a concept design that was created with a body made out of bamboo, and it really works. This small electric car is displayed in Kyoto and was developed by the Kyoto University Venture Business Library. It doesn't look like it, but this incredible car can reach 50 kilometers, or just a little over 31 miles, on one single charge. It obviously won't protect you very much if you got into a collision since it's made out of bamboo. Number 18. The walking bike. The walking bike pictured here is the strangest looking single-seater we have in this entire video. Why is it so strange, you ask? Well, as you can see, the wheels were replaced with single shoes. Talk about a weird ride. This crazy hybrid combined shoes and a bike to create a semi-functioning mode of transportation. Could you imagine the looks you would get if you rode this bike to school or work? Number 17. The Mini Hotrod. The Mini Hotrod pictured here was created by a group of friends in Germany who wanted a different sort of car to ride around in. Even though Germany has extremely strict rules when it comes to what is actually considered street legal and what is not, the tiny hot rod in this picture actually made the cut. If you had the need for speed, this wouldn't be the car to get since they can't reach over 50 miles an hour. Number 16. The self-made motorcycle. The Goliath of a motorcycle in this image is pictured next to a standard-sized bike, even though it looks like it belongs to a child. Abulayan, the man on top of the motorcycle, was the builder of the monster machine. The 30-year-old spent an entire year constructing a motorcycle that was 14 feet long and almost 8 feet tall. It cost him $1,300 to build, but he bought almost every part from salvage stations nearby. The converted engine allows this beast to travel a max of 24 miles per hour and is apparently very hard to maneuver. You don't say. Number 15. A solar-powered single-person vehicle. The guy sitting in the funky car in this picture is Eric Tan, and he is riding in the very first Philippine solar-powered car. In this picture, he is driving the streets of Manila in 2007, right after the vehicle was unveiled. It was made to participate in the World Solar Challenge in Australia the month after this picture was taken. Number 14. The Solo Wheel. This tiny transportation device looks too small for our comfort. Although we wouldn't be excited to zip up and down the block on one of these bad boys. The Solo Wheel is a great option for a person just trying to get to work down the street or to a friend's house just around the block. The interesting design in this picture is a gyro-stabilized electric unicycle that gives the driver the ability to travel hands-free. It may only travel up to 10 miles per hour, but it only weighs 24 pounds and costs about $1,495. While that's more than the average skateboard, it is far less than the cost of an actual motorcycle or a car. Number 13. Messerschmitt KR200 Microcar. It might be kind of hard to see him, but that's Jose Alberto Sarmiento, the owner of the microcar he's sitting in. The three-wheeled car was created by the German aircraft manufacturer Messerschmitt, and it has been in Sarmiento's family since long before the Cuban Revolution. There are supposedly only a few dozen of these bubble cars still in Cuba today, and one of them is pictured here. Number 12. NV. No, the machine in this image isn't a robot. It's a personalized electric vehicle made for one person. This is the NV, and it looks like something that came straight out of the Jetsons cartoon. This concept single-seater is funny shaped so that it could automatically be parked by being stacked, sort of like grocery store carts. They are also supposed to be able to simply drive over a specified recharge point on the ground to recharge the vehicle. This is one of the vehicles of the future. Number 11. The Toyota iRoad. Here's another tiny car that isn't the famous well-known smart car, but it is very similar in design. The small car concept in this picture was designed by Toyota, and it is called the iRoad. This image was first shown to the public in 2013 at the Geneva Motor Show, but since the show, the model's plans became a part of an experiment in Tokyo. The incredibly unique key feature from that experiment was the car's ability to actually lean into corners as it drives. The driver has to turn the wheel like normal, and the car will shift and adjust to compensate for the turn. That's something we've never seen before. Number 10. An electric tricycle. Now, the vehicle in this picture should really be called a bubble car. But who are we to name things? This is a capsule electric tricycle zooming around the streets of central Beijing. If the boy in the bubble were real, this would have been the car he would have been driving around in. You have to say, while you couldn't pack your friends in for a ride, this looks like a totally fun way to get around. Number 9. The Piaggio MP3 Urban LT. The strange vehicle in this picture is classified as a motor tricycle, so you supposedly don't need a motorcycle license to ride it around. Your standard license should do, but don't quote us on it. This odd bike is the MP3 Urban, and it's a scooter with more than a few extra bells and whistles. You can see that it has 3 wheels, hence the tricycle classification. Along with other basic scooter features, this ride gets you to where you need to go with the added safety of a third wheel without the fuss of an actual car. Number 8. The Ryno Microcycle. The unique single-person ride in this picture took 6 long years of development before its creators felt like it was worthy enough to show the public. The protruding portion in the front of this contraption is probably what led to its name, the Ryno Microcycle. It runs off battery power, and with the vehicle you also get 2 Ryno SLA batteries, the Ryno charger, LED headlight attachments, and the Ryno display stand. It only reaches a speed of 10 miles per hour, so it's much like our contender in number 14. Number 7. A Unique Unicycle. We already think that unicycles are strangely unique modes of transportation, but we've never seen one quite as strange as the one in this picture. This woman was photographed back in 2004, riding this odd contraption in Shanghai. This design was created by a Chinese inventor who called his machine the #1 vehicle in the world. Since we haven't seen this exact model before now, we don't think that this model caught on with the rest of the world. It is still, however, a very bizarre way to get around. Number 6. The High Heel Car. You never thought the day would come that you would see a man driving a high heel down the road, but here it is. It happened. The shoe car in this picture was a part of a series of creations made to mark International Women's Day. It was driven around Hyderabad, just like the giant cigarette, and was created by the same Indian car designer Sudhakar Yadav. You wouldn't think a machine like this could move, but it could travel up to 28 miles per hour. Number 5. The Yike Bike. You wouldn't want to ride the contraption in this picture down a hill, but if you live in a flat city, this would be a much better option than a car. It is a few $1,000s, but it takes you where you need to go, and when you're done using it, it folds up into something that is very small and very portable. Again, stay away from hills or ramps if you know what's good for you. Number 4. Mazda Suitcase Car. This insane single-seater looks like it was made for a cartoon, but it was a real-life idea. As you might imagine from looking at this picture, this car was designed with a businessman in mind. The idea behind this crazy car is that a business person takes the suitcase car with them on a business trip. Once you've arrived at your destination, you simply open up the vehicle and use it to get around the city you're visiting. That's a pretty amazing concept, but it would be hard to use it in a country that has never seen anything like it. It might just end up being more trouble than it's worth. Number 3. Peel P50. The teeny car pictured here is the Peel P50, and it's clearly only large enough to fit one person. It is a tiny, lightweight car that doesn't need much to power it. There are only 47 cars ever built in the Peel P50 style, and only 26 of them remain scattered around the world today. You might still be able to find one if an owner is willing to part with it, but you will certainly be paying a pretty penny for your purchase. Number 2. The Hyperbike. This bizarre piece of equipment looks like it belongs in an act at the circus. But it is just the Hyperbike, the single-person vehicle that can actually keep up with a car or even surpass it. It reaches an incredible speed of 50 miles per hour. That certainly isn't fast by car standards, but for an alien vehicle such as this one, that's pretty darn fast. Number 1. The Tron Lightcycle. We had to pick a single-seater that was the coolest of the cool, and we think that we found what we were looking for in the Tron Lightcycle. You might have thought that the legendary bike in this picture was only created for the 2010 big picture. And it was, but you can get one for yourself for $55,000. Well, that's enough money to buy 2 or even 3 really decent cars. You'd rather have a really cool super speed bike, huh? Cause we would too.
Let me know how much you guys loved the video by smashing the likes down below. And make sure to check out the next video on Board Badger. Signing out.
Board Badger.